The next project is from Denmark, and it's called Flashback.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can. Okay. Good. My name is Andre. I don't work for a big interactive production company. I'm just myself. I'm 24 years old. I'll tell you a little bit about me, which will lead into the project, because this project is kind of about me. I grew up in a Jewish family where I was taught all the Jewish values. So that pretty much fucked me up a little bit, because I was taught some things that wasn't true. So when I started in high school, there was only 4 boys in my class, and there was 1 Russian guy, and there was 2 Moroccan guy, and then there was 1 nerd that I didn't want to hang out with because I was too cool for him. I clashed with them, and I didn't really understand their values and their, you know, how they saw life and how they saw me, because I saw them as a threat to my people, the Jewish people. After a while, I became you know, like friends with them, because they were the people that I had in my class that I could hang out with. And I found out that, you know, they had different humor, and they had different things that were interesting to them. After that, I began making films, because I stutter, as you probably heard right now. So I had to be able to communicate in a different way. So I really liked the movies, because then I could make people say what I wanted to say. And that made me take a bachelor's degree in program in TV and media management with the project Copenhagen, which this film is actually part of. It's 1/4 of the main project where I have analyzed this group called second generation immigrants, teenage boys. So while I did that, I met this guy called Arif Kavaja, who's a Pakistani rapper from Denmark. And he's about 40 years old. I met him in the fitness center, and I just talked to him about that. I made videos, and you know, he could make songs. So we collaborated on some projects. Besides this, I've gotten a scholarship for a film in Kenya called Lion Lights, which I'll just mention. But what happened then at the school was that I had to make this bachelor project, and I thought about my friends from high school. Why were they different from me? And I noticed that they watched way less Flow TV, but I knew that they watched a lot of TV. So I was like, what do they watch? They watch the internet TV, of course. Besides that, I found out that the main Danish second generation immigrant has a higher crime rate, and he also has a higher unemployment rate. And I want to help them not have that, because I thought that maybe it wasn't their fault, but maybe it was the society of Denmark's fault. So I thought about how can I analyze this. So I thought of 4 things that I wanted to check out, which was what they liked of themes in movies, which platform that they liked, which elements, and their social environment, like what affects what they see. And what I found out, the most important things was the themes. What they want is public service. They want to know how to do things. There was one guy who told me about his friend who was told to send a job application to a job. So they told him to go down to the mailbox with his application. So he went down to his own mailbox and put it in, and then thought that it would be picked up by the mailman there. So that's why. That's not why, but they just don't have the basic skills because their parents came here from Iraq, and they came from all over the Middle East, and they just don't know what to do. So they need some basic skills that they don't have from their parents, and that's why they don't have jobs, and they have higher crime rates because they don't have jobs. So besides that, I found out that they really love the internet, because in Danish TV you see white people, you see all the Danish people, but you never see them, so they can't identify with these characters. But on the internet, there's lots of them, because they make movies with themselves, about themselves. From the social environment, I actually thought that their parents would control what they watched, but they don't. So that means that it's kind of we can actually do what we want. There's no censor, if you know that word. I don't know if it's the right one, but we can do whatever we want, because there is no parents saying you can't watch that when they're teenagers. But when they are 9, 10, 11, then they are. So that led me to create a method of making this program for them. I hooked up with this guy Arif again, and I told him to meet up with me and tell me stories from his childhood, from when he was a second generation immigrant. He was the first. He was like the first second generation immigrant of Denmark, and he would tell me stories about his childhood for 30 minutes, and then he would leave. And then I would write these stories as a storyline, and then we would meet up at a green screen, and then he would read it once, just once, and then he would just make 5 takes where he would memorize what I said, because he's a freestyle rapper, which makes him able to freestyle and make up, connections between these stories. And that's it. And then we, after that, filmed the scenes that we put over his speak, which led to our concept of Flashback, where a cultural ancestors tell stories of how they grew up to entertain and learn the audience not to make the same mistakes that they did. And that is Flashback. And yeah, if you want to, I can show you a little bit of it if I have some time left. If I can find it. I have no idea where the mouse is. Could someone help me to find the video? I don't really know where the mouse is. Oh, there. Wait, I think it's down there. If you, there you go.
Okay, so.
I've taken the last part now, so we'll watch the end of it. It's 8 minutes long.
Der er kræfter med ret i, fordi at der kommer alt for mange komplikationer, fordi du lever et dobbeltliv. Du er en ting her, du er en anden ting der, og en gang imellem så bliver du bustet. Hvad er du så? Så er du en løgner, og det holder bare ikke. Det er der ikke nogen, der kan lide. Men på den anden side, så er det også pisse svært, når det er, at du hænger sammen med rødderne fra hooden, og du pludselig bliver forelsket i Heidi fra parallelklassen. Men fuck, deler du det med?
Dreng, jeg bliver sgu nødt til at vælge, at jeg er forelsket i Heidi.
Hvad? Hold kæft, den bøsse.
Det er rigtigt. Ja.
Fordi der er fandme ikke plads til kærlighedssnak, og forelskelser og lyserøde hjerter, og skyer og pis og lort, når det er, at du er sammen med drengene. I ved godt, hvad jeg snakker om. Forstår du, hvad jeg mener, altså? Men situationen var nu på den her måde her, at jeg var faldet for Heidi. Jeg tager så hen til Heidi, tager mig sammen, mander mig op, og når du står sammen med den her klik her, så er der altså totalt langt, selvom du kun er 10 meter over til Heidi og hendes veninder, så føles det bare rent mentalt som om, at der er et maratonløb over til hende. Så gå hen til hende og kigger på hendes dejlige, smukke ansigt og hendes hår, som flagrer lidt i efterårsvinden. Og gå hen til hende og sådan noget der, og kigger på hendes dejlige mund og sådan noget der. Jeg har fantaseret om den der mund så mange gange. Jeg vil bare gerne kysse hende meget, meget blidt. Jeg vil bare invitere hende ud, mand. Så går jeg hen til hende, tager mig sammen og siger...
Heidi, jeg tænkte, om du havde lyst til at gå ud og spise en shawarma til et palads og se en film. Jeg giver selvfølgelig.
Og det var helt oprigtigt, mand. Jeg mente det. Fucking forelsket i hende her, mand. Og drengene står og kigger, jeg kan mærke deres øjne sådan brænde i min nakke og sådan noget der. Det brænder for helvede og sådan noget der, ikke? Der er ligesom dobbeltting og sådan noget der. Men nu er jeg hopper ud i det, mand. Her, kom! Og så siger hun til mig...
Ej, hvor er det bare fedt, du bare går og spørger mig. Og biografen ud og spise alt muligt. Men det kan jeg altså ikke, fordi jeg kommer sammen med Lars fra parallelklassen.
Og jeg bliver så sindssygt ked af det. Jeg er lige gået over for alle mine homies, du skal høre for det. Kommer herover, åbner mig. Jeg er kun 15 år, mand. Og i min afmagt og min sorg, min hjerteknusenhed, eller hvad man skal sige og sådan noget der. Og blev bare så fucking ked af det, at det eneste, der ligesom kom ud af min mund, den eneste måde, jeg kunne reagere på, det var bare sådan...
Fuck af med dig, lyder.
Spørgsmålet er så bare, at når jeg siger det til hende, er jeg så en, der kigger ned på damer? Er det fordi, jeg kommer fra en islamisk kultur, som er fuldstændig ligeglad med kvinder og deres følelser, og ikke har nogen respekt for dem, og bare vil underkue dem, og de skal bare makke ret? Eller var jeg bare en teenager, der bare var forelsket i en pige, og så røg det bare ud af min mund? Ja, man.
And that is the video. And I'm the white guy, actually. If I was supposed to be one of them. Yeah. I can hear you. I don't know if the other thing.
Hello. I love this project. So we've, as commissioners, have had the chance to obviously read a bit more about it. I think what I relate to most in this is that it's just a very honest way of creating interactive content where you're getting people to speak about their personal stories and giving, a story-fied background to it and allowing us to really sort of interact, firstly, emotionally and say, yeah, that's happened to me as well. And secondly, providing a forum where we can go on and actually sort of add our stories. Yeah. And I almost think that there's a lot of scope with the presentation we had before, the technology that they've got. I wonder if, the thought in my head was maybe you guys need to get together and actually sort of create an interactive platform for these kind of stories. But the question I have for you is, other than getting lots of people to talk around certain things that they like or certain themes that they relate to, certain experiences that they've had, what is your sort of medium and long-term goal? How are you going to create a sense of ongoing interaction as your community of videos grows?
Well, actually, the idea is that, this is a dummy. We made it for free, so we just made this with Artif. But actually, the idea is that we would make sessions with the kids, and they would tell us stories, and then they could have their stories told by him, because this isn't true stories. This is nearly true stories. We have tweaked them. This is just, a story that he told me that I changed, so he changed it again. So, we could have other kids telling stories that then he would tell for them, because they can tell themselves, because they aren't used to being on TV. He's used to being on TV. He's used to performing for big audiences. So, he could be their speaker, because they are never heard in the media in Denmark.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your very personal presentation and I think a very, very important story to tell and to interact. And for me, it was more a question about the multi-platform aspect, for how many platforms you will tell the story on, and will you also make a documentary film with the kind of summarizing all the stories up?
It's definitely a possibility. Actually, the main idea wasn't to make a big interactive thing about this project, but it's certainly possible, because there's a lot of aspects in it. I haven't really thought very much longer than the kids that could use their stories, but I think there's a lot of potential in it to make this. So it would be awesome to be able to try and do that.
Yeah, I have a question about this business side. It's not nice to ask about the money. Social issues are so important, and I really love the project. It's a great project, and I hope you will successful. But about funding, have you considered that applying funding for somewhere, or do you have some kind of business model to support?
In Denmark we have the Danish Film Institute. Right now I'm applying to get it. It's called the webisode funding, where you make 6 chapters for 100,000 kroner, which is I think it's like $20,000. Where we are trying to make it, but there's a lot of people in the race, and there'll be 3 getting the money to make one each. Besides that, I haven't contacted any private persons yet. I've just made it. I just came out of school with this project. So we haven't really contacted anyone, but I think definitely that this could be this could. This costs only the food for the actors to make. It didn't really cost much more than that. Of course, you would have to pay a photographer, and me to direct it, and Artif to perform. But besides that, it doesn't cost that much. So there isn't much funding in it besides the working staff.
Yeah, I know a lot of documentary makers are working without any payments. That's saying that's no cost related. But I believe this is a great project, and you have potential to copy it from the Denmark to the other countries.
And not not even just the ghetto side of it, but you could also make it of the posh side of Copenhagen, and make it their story. So this is just the internet now has made sure that people find what they want to see. So there's a lot less viewers on things on the internet, but the people watch what they want to watch. So everybody is interested. So you would be able to catch, all the people from Hellerup, which is like the posh side of Copenhagen, or you would be able to find the ghetto people and make them watch this particular thing, and then of course use commercials to fund it with some brands or some companies that has their interests. Yeah.
Right. Do we have any questions from the audience? It has to sink in. All right. Okay, we have one.
That was really good. Thank you very much. I really like your film. Where does the ancestry part of the flashback come into it?
I was more thinking of a second generation ancestor, as in he's kind of
like an elder.
Yeah, an elder. I probably wrote it wrong. I'm not. Yeah, but it's more because they don't really have any role models. These kids, because they only have rappers. And actually, he is also musician, but he talks about the better things in life than the other of their idols does in Denmark. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
According to the plan, we should be welcoming Genius on Demand, but we've just received